Few friends, strong mind. Stoic Lessons on Solitude and Strength. Be still. Be strong. Be stoic. Part 1. Hook and Inner Conflict. Have you ever noticed that the quieter your life becomes, the more people seem to drift away? Messages slow down. Invitations disappear. You look around, everyone's busy, noisy, connected, and you're standing still outside that circle. And then you ask yourself, am I living the wrong way? Ethan Miller once asked that question. A 32-year-old man living in Los Angeles, the city of lights, of polite smiles, of conversations that never go deep. He used to try to be the easy one. He laughed when he wasn't amused, nodded when he didn't understand, listened to stories that no longer related to his soul. All just to avoid being the one left out. But the more he blended in, the lonelier he felt. The laughter around him wasn't sound anymore. It was a wall separating him from the world. One night, after the party ended, he looked at himself in the mirror, tired, empty, meaningless. And in that silence, he realized, maybe his quietness wasn't a flaw. Maybe having few friends wasn't proof of weakness, but proof of awareness. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "He who lives in harmony with himself will never be truly alone." Tonight we will walk through 4 Stoic lessons, 4 doors that lead you from loneliness to strength, from noise to stillness, from disconnection to inner mastery. Part 2. Stoic Insights, 4 Laws. Insight I. Depth cannot live in shallow waters. One afternoon, Ethan sat with old friends. Their talk circled around gossip, celebrities, new movies, scattered laughter. He sat there trying to blend in, but with every minute he felt further outside. When he asked, "Do you ever feel like everything's just too loud?" The table fell silent for 2 seconds. Then someone laughed. "Bro, you think too much." Ethan smiled, but another voice inside whispered, "No, I don't think too much. I just think deeper." Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If your mind is deep, you cannot breathe in shallow waters. Those who bond easily often chase instant pleasure. But if you seek truth, honesty, real connection, you won't fit where things are shallow. Your solitude isn't emptiness, it's depth, and the world is rarely still enough to touch it. Insight 2. Solitude is the training ground of self-control. Ethan once feared silence. He played music while eating, podcasts in the shower, checked social media every 5 minutes just to avoid being alone with his thoughts. Then one night, the internet went out. No music, no connection, no one to talk to. At first came irritation, then panic. But a few minutes later, something shifted. He began to hear his own breathing, the wind against the window, and the feeling of not having to play any role. Epictetus taught, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish." The world follows the crowd not out of love for people, but out of fear of itself. Silence forces you to face your mind, to confront the fears you've hidden. And that's where strength is built. Loneliness doesn't kill you. It forges you. Insight 3. Conflict and Awakening. Once, Ethan tried to break the silence. He made a new social media account, posted pictures, wrote deep captions, interacted daily. Likes grew, comments multiplied. He thought, finally, I'm connected. But weeks later, he realized, though hundreds reacted, no one truly listened. And he saw the harsh truth. When you try to prove you're not lonely, that's when you're the loneliest. That was the moment of awakening. He deleted the app, turned off the phone, returned to the silent room. This time, he wasn't afraid. He simply sat and breathed. Silence was no longer punishment. It was a training hall where willpower and self-discipline are forged. Insight 4. The right people come in the right season. Time passed. Ethan moved to a smaller, quieter apartment. He worked, read, ran, and sometimes just watched sunlight through the window. One afternoon, as he was writing, someone knocked. His neighbor, a woman named Ava, lived alone too and loved silence. They talked for 5 minutes, then sat in silence for 10. And in that silence, neither felt awkward. Marcus Aurelius reminded, "Do not force what is beyond your control. When you keep your virtue steady, what is right will come naturally." Ethan realized, you can't force someone to understand you, nor make the right people arrive before their season. But you can live truthfully. And when you do, your energy becomes a signal. Those who share your frequency will find you, slowly but surely. Part 3. The Stoic Solitude Practice. Ethan called it the Stoic Solitude Practice, a daily ritual for those who learn to find peace in silence. Step 1. Breathe and be present. Each morning when you wake, don't touch your phone. Sit upright, take 3 slow breaths, and whisper, "I am complete within myself." Feel your breath, the light, the heartbeat. Nothing is missing. There is only you and the present. Step 2. Reflect and observe. At midday, when emptiness arises, don't look for someone to talk to. Pick up your pen and write. What am I feeling right now? No judgment, no disguise, just observation, as Marcus Aurelius once observed his own mind in Meditations. Step 3. Release and gratitude. Before sleep, write 3 lines. 1. One thing that gave you peace. 2. One thing you're ready to let go. 3. One thing you're grateful for in silence. Then read Seneca's words. Better to walk alone than to run with the crowd toward emptiness. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and let the day end in intentional stillness. Part 4. Reflection and stillness. Tonight, the city still glows. But inside that small room, Ethan sits on the floor, watching the light reflect on the window, and smiles. He once thought life only had meaning when surrounded by people. Now he knows. Meaning appears when you no longer fear being alone. He thinks of Einstein, who needed solitude to create, of Marcus, who kept calm amid power, of Seneca, who chose silence in the palace, and of Epictetus, a slave, yet free in his mind. They all knew one truth. Strength is not found in the crowd, but in the stillness of the one who knows himself. Loneliness is no longer the enemy. It is the mirror of the mind, the place where you learn to love yourself without proof, where you stop seeking approval and start becoming the answer. If today you find yourself alone, don't see it as emptiness. See it as the space of power. One day when you stand firm in stillness, the ones meant for you will come. Not to save you from solitude, but because they recognize the light within you, the light that appears only when the mind is finally calm. Silence is the proof of strength. Be still. Be strong. Be stoic.